Listen here, Commander, for I have a matter of great import that I should like to bring to your attention. In the realm I ruled, that rule was absolute, as was that of my vassals, women all, of course. We concerned ourselves with matters of mastery and the mind, men with all things menial, according to the natural order. On this ship, however, I find myself trapped amid so many cocks of the walk, the one more swollen with self-importance than the next, only to discover these pompous windbags actually earn more wages than Scarlet, Prospera, or I do. If anyone, it is we of the superior sex who should sooner receive more silver and gold than those of the savage variety. You'll set right this iniquity, Commander, and you'll do it now. Good. So you should. And I hope this is the last of such nonsense I've had to deal with. Just a little while ago, Commander, you broke a lance for women aboard this ship, and now I need you to break another of a far more serious, shocking, and I fear resilient kind. I'm talking of an injustice that could only have gone by unhindered in a land under the greasy thumb of a man as oblivious to the plight of his mothers, sisters, and lovers as the worm is to the vast world around it. It is my fondest hope that you shall prove to be a worm, not a worm, by uprooting one of the many, but perhaps most glaring crimes against womankind that is institutionalized among the undead. A blight upon Rivellon. That is their ill-called civilization, led by old farts, dry of bone and dry of spirit, that say females must be subservient because the divines decree it so. Rot! They put whatever words will secure their pathetic hold to despotic hegemony in the Seven's mouths. But the vote, Commander, can change everything. Undead women can be candidates for government, but they themselves aren't allowed to vote, and therefore never get elected. You then shall either undo this gross travesty, this ignominious perversion, or by refusal admit you two are nothing but a barren weed, afraid to be plucked, ridiculed, and cast aside by willful women, just like those skeletal cowards. The least one can do for them. Better late than never, wouldn't you say, Commander? The battle is lost and won, Commander. Victory and defeat make for incestuous lovers after the undead elections. The women triumphed, swept aside their toothless tyrants, wielding the brooms they were forced to sweep the floors with. Alas, that they do so very little with what they have been given, being as slavishly devoted to the divines as their earthly enslavers before them. But who knows? Change may yet come, and if it does, you will have been its instigator. Commander, a matter has arisen that impels me to seek your benevolence. Once more, a young girl is made to suffer at the hands of male overlords. It's these horrid arranged marriages. Long have they been a thorn in my side, and now one of your own counselors, that toad of a Trinculo, is giving away his daughter like she was a pretty piece of furniture to some decrepit old duke because the alliance will benefit him financially. The girl's 12, for 7's sake, and that grey goat she must marry 100 if he's a day. It's detestable. It's vile. But oh, why am I even talking to you? You're just the same. Picked the princess that sat on the biggest pot of gold and moved on. Well, I've had it. That girl stuck in your chamber is beyond saving, but Trinculo's daughter is not. Impede this wedding, Commander, right this instant. Excellent. And add age restrictions as well. If parents try to coerce her, a 20-year-old can stand up to them better than a mere girl. Well done, Commander. Not bartered, but cherished let our women be. Bravo, Commander. Your new law regarding the requirement of girls' and women's consent to marry has caused a wave of enthusiasm among the populace. The romantic ruler is your latest sobriquet. Ironic, wouldn't you say? Ironic, yes. For of course you yourself haven't given up on your politically picked wife and went forth in pursuit of love. Such is the way of emperors. They preach, but hardly practice. Commander, I have conducted a couple of surprise inspections of late to see firsthand how our ground troops are conducting themselves in newly conquered territories. The result is exactly what I had expected. Atrocious. Swarms of fire-spouting locusts wouldn't do as much damage as the average cohort. They pillage left and right, and what is worse, rape every woman and girl they can get their ruttish claws on. Most officers turn a blind eye, and those that don't get transferred behind the lines. This is nothing short of organized assault. But I took matters into my own hands, Commander. The first offenders have been court-martialed and hung for their offense. Touched one last time by angel lust, then limp and lethargic forever. So I shall, Commander. The harvest from the hanging tree will be plentiful this year. Pestilence take me, Commander, if the vices of men aren't harder to stamp out than all the weeds in the wilderness. Where my inquisitors go, they wither. Where they leave, bloom anew in all their obscene glory. I merely try to protect women from the abject horrors that are rape and pillage, yet I find myself fighting a battle so uphill as to be vertical. To pinpoint the fundamental problem is easy. The army is run by men, for men. Now one can train a dog to behave, but men, lacking even canine cunning, one cannot. The solution to the problem is therefore equally easy. Replace them with women. I'm not even going to be unreasonable, Commander. I could have advocated mass sterilization, for instance. No, I merely demand that you sack half of the male officers and replace them with women. They'll run the army better no matter how, and they'll see to it that not quite dogs, aka soldiers, either behave or hang. Very good, Commander. And how refreshing to meet one whose bark isn't bigger than his bite. Actions speak louder than words, as they say. The quota of women in our armies is largely having the effect I desired it to have, Commander. Our soldiers don't exactly behave like angels, but many of their offenses are now committed in the mind only. Finally, we may be welcomed as liberators where we venture, not dread conquerors bent on annihilation. So thank you for supporting this change of mind, Commander. Should you one day wake up and find strange magic made you a woman, I'd say there's hope for the Empire yet. My Amazons whipped your soldiers into shape in no time. They positively quiver when my girls draw near. A word, Commander, if you please. I have made an assessment of my time aboard the Raven, and you should hear it. You know my background. You know I used to be a queen in my own right, and that under my rule, women held sway. In a male-dominated world, I have tried to champion their rights, and on the whole, I have found in you an unexpected ally. My disposition may have sometimes betrayed my true appreciation, so I would like to thank you here and now for meeting my demands with dignity and conviction. Even if a man, I know you will make for a great emperor, and it shall be my honor to fight by your side until the day comes victory shall finally be ours. I was right to place my hopes in a dragon. The wisdom of the ancient beast outshines the sex it belongs to.